Sort out YouTube and I'll sort out Facebook.
Yeah, no worries. Done.
Me and me and all. Right, videos going to go on public on Facebook, so we should start getting people through. Right, good afternoon, David. Let's see who we've got on board.
Afternoon, David.
Right, we'll get Stevie Bank here, Alistair Kilpatrick,
Mary Highland, Doug Cook, Chris Fisher, Robert Bruce, Mad Monk, 33, your brother, Gary Forbes,
Class Action,
Weebird, Fiona Allen, Stephen Nichol, John Wardrop, Nigel Burnett, Jim Steve, I think got Jim Stevens before, Stephen McNeil,
Bruce, Gary Forbes, Bruce Morland.
Gary Forbes can't hear me. Gary, it's your hearing aids. Take them off, turn them up a wee bit.
Mary Hanlon, Stevenson, John Wardrobe, Stephen Nichol, Fiona Allen, Weebird. Hi Nigel, we're there in Oz. Good day, mate. Ice Ninja, welcome back, Ice Ninja. Indy Scott Brian, Jeanette Gilfillan, Desiree Brincat. Who else we got? Stephen McNeil, Jill O'Brien, James Lindsay, Class Action. Class Action was asking if we knew any spies where he could get a decent chicken fried rice. I tell you, try the security minister down that road. Tom, whatever his bloody name is. Hi Beanie. Hi Lenny. Hi. Oh, that's Facebook in, so we can get started. Right. Yep. Nah, we're not 100 yet, so we'll just need to mess about with there. Of course, we'll get the football this evening. Well, while we're talking about football, see that the Transport Commissioner down that road want to apply new rules here in Scotland to people travelling to football matches by coaches. And for once, the Scottish Government, the SFA and the SPFL said, fuck off. And we made it by 7 seconds before I said that, wasn't I? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't monetise it anyway, because I was talking to Stevie Anderson. They said, the IRS, need to mess about with the inland revenue here and all. And then, of course, you get YouTube taking the 30% cut. So basically, it's no fucking worth it.
Yeah.
It's no worth the hassle. Anyway, they tell me bugger off. So the Traffic Commissioner down there in London has decided to back off, even though that these rules are already in place in England and Wales. So for once, they've done the right thing and tell me go and file their bloody heads.
No, but don't you think that plays into the idea that they know that football is a safety valve that stops all the supporters really using their brains and realising that the problem's down that road in Westminster and going down there and blooming taking them?
Afternoon, Dylan.
Anyway.
Right, we've got another 6 on board, David, so let's get this broadcast underway. So Two Davies on the 11th to the 9th, 2023. How's the weather where you are, Davy?
It's getting sunny and it's getting horrible again.
It's starting a bit too clammy again.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of partly cloudy here, 17 degrees. So that's the weather for Clydebank and Salisbury. You might know the weather it's like where you are. Look at your end, bloody windy.
I was at the pub last night with Leslie, and we're sat right by the door where they go out and have a fag, right? But it was really quite good because they wedged the door open because it was so sticky, right? And the rain started to come down, and my goodness me, it was bouncing waist height off the blooming street, you know. So wow, you know.
It came down all right. Right, let's get this first subject underway. Now, we all know the importance of soft power on the international stage, the international community, and it would appear that the UK has lost its soft power in the international. 33 degrees there, Ali, Jesus. But you are in France, after all. Anyway, the UK
there's always in the UK the meant it's been a gunboat sat off the main city of the country that we're using the soft power on. We're saying, if you don't do what we say, then we're going to get that gunboat to start firing at this. No?
No, that's not exactly it, you know, but It was along the lines, but generally it's done with economic might now.
Yes.
As you'll be aware that Mr. Sunak was at the G7 and Mumbai, I think it was, in India. Thank you. Watching you two audience on the big wall. I'll start the fun today. Thanks you. And you're no interested in your fancy projector. Right. Anyway, soft power is quite important and generally use economic might now. So Sunak's are there in India, as you know, David, right? They're a big fan for the coming home thing, you know, which of course brings in the question of allegiance. You and I spoke about it earlier. Anyway, when he gets there and they're talking away, China ignores Sunak, America ignores Sunak, and Modi, the Indian premier or president, because they've got a prime minister and a president there, he makes it quite clear to Sunak that if he wants this trade deal, it'll be on India's terms because India is the bigger economy. So basically, Sunak was put in his place and slapped by the Indian premier. Times have changed. But what was more interesting about that, well, there, it was made clear to him by the United Nations, who are about to have another climate summit, that he wasn't invited.
Yeah.
They could send delegates to watch and observe, but unlike other economic powerhouses, they weren't being invited to fully participate. Now, the reason why they weren't being invited to fully participate, David, would you like to enlighten their viewers?
What, the reason they weren't allowed? Because of what they've done. They've given 100 licenses for the oil and gas in the North Sea. They've broken every single promise they made at COP26.
Oh, yeah.
So you know, at the end of the day, it's like you can imagine now these people are looking at us and going, "What are they doing?" They ran COP26, they were at COP27, and they do all that. So that's that's the reason why they're not getting invited. Something like that. They're getting invited to sit and watch. That's it.
To send delegates to observe. But the top industrial powers, their premiers and presidents have been invited to these chats in order to try and make progress on addressing climate change. Sunak and the UK government have been told, nah, you're not invited, you're not trustworthy, they're not interested, you're paying lip service to this stuff.
Well, here, if we just pop back to India for a moment, right, just what you're talking about with Sunak and all the rest of it, right, I noticed the other week there, Dan Wootton, Britannia Robotics, all right, okay, Dan Wootton from GB News made a personal statement to India saying, look, come on guys, we've been giving you all this aid, international aid. Can you give it back now? Because you're now sending things to the moon and all the rest of it, right? So you don't need it, right? And there was a lady presenter on the Indian news services that actually responded to him. But obviously, I'm not there, just saying her thoughts. And she said, well, in actual fact, we haven't had any international aid from Britain since 2017, I think it was, right? And also, if you look back in history, when the empire was at full blown hog, Britain took 46 trillion out of the Indian economy.
As well, they trashed the economy as well.
Yeah, that's right. So therefore, giving over a wee bit of money, is that not just fair? Is that not just reparations?
Which is exactly what it was. See all this crap about being international aid? It wasn't the international aid at all. It was basically reparation for damage done to India.
Yeah.
I mean, the poverty that they were facing was created by the empire. I mean, you've got to remember, pre-empire, India was the biggest trading nation on the planet.
That's right. Yeah.
So power has disappeared.
We're talking about over hundreds, maybe thousands of years, with the situation where the people that made material in India, visitors from Rome would come and buy the material to take back for the woman in Rome. Mm-hmm. Such fine weaving work and all the rest of it, right? And that's right. Actually, because they didn't want any of the mills being undermined by India, they cut off their blooming thumbs so they couldn't blooming weave properly.
Mark Telford says if they forget about the spy saga with China, Rishi Sunak's in India representing having talked with handlers. Didn't know he'd popped out to see his father-in-law. Which brings us to the Indian trade deal, actually. As was explained, they're going to want visas, and we're going to pop something up a wee bit later for you to get an idea, but that'll be on a separate party that's went back in the words. Right, we'll get to that and all our Willie's bucket. Right, so basically, India tells Little Britain, shut up, you'll take things on our terms. The Yanks refuse to speak to them.
Yeah.
Little Britain. The Chinese refuse to speak to Little Britain, and the UN just put a boot up their bahookie and say, don't bother showing up because you're full of pish. So there goes soft power. Thanks, Dylan. That's very, very generous of you, young man. So it is. Nice to see you there, Dylan. Laurie. Right, let's move on. Starmer to meet Interpol at The Hague and to attend. Yeah, get this. Right, and this is all about immigration, stopping immigration. Starmer thinks he can woo Tory voters if he can get it right on immigration. But he's doing the same thing that Sunak and that's talking about, and that is smash the gangs to stop the votes.
Yeah.
A lot of crap. But anyway, he's going to go and meet Interpol at The Hague to talk about closer relations to try and stop people getting into wee boats in France. And then he's off to Canada, Montreal to be precise, to get this, a left of centre conference on international migration. Because thanks, John. Thanks very much, John.
Wow.
As you know, mass migration is going to be a problem due to climate change, right? So he's off there. He put his top.
What we are told that there are at the moment 27 million people influx who are refugees in the world due to climate change. Due to all the normal reasons for refugees, but we're going to add to that with climate change by many times.
So Starmer thinks that he's going to be able to smash the gangs when the Tories can't.
Yeah.
Let's face it, the Tories are giving £500 million a year money to the French to police the coastline.
Yeah.
It has reduced things slightly, but prosecution of international people smugglers in the UK are at the lowest level ever. The last time levels were this low was 2010 when Comrade Starmer was head of the Crown Prosecution Service. Now, what Starmer's saying is,
David, Chris Silver's just put up a really, really good comment there. Can you have a look at it?
Okay, if I can find it.
Second top on my screen.
Right, we'll put it up then.
I can't.
Well, you can. I'll put this one up. Character holding their head in their hands saying, how's it going? Thanks very much for the super sticker, Heather. Anyway, I can't see this comment you're talking about. Just read it out to us.
It's the one about, bloody hell, man, it's gone now. That is Interpol, but we want to get out of the ECHR. So leave that and Interpol shuts you out. That was
correct. We were looking at all sorts of a live stream last night, and we were looking at Article 49 of the European rules. That's about joining Europe. And do you know the UK doesn't qualify? We don't meet the criteria. We don't meet the criteria in respecting human rights. We don't meet the criteria in equality. In fact, I made a point on the video, and Marcus read it out, and my point was, how can you have equality in a society that's got a class system? You can't have equality in a society that's got a class system.
Okay. There's another country that we talk about that has a class system also, which is India. They've got the caste system, still a class system.
Yep. Now, we also don't qualify on say human rights, class, and we don't meet the standards on debt to GDP.
Mm.
Right, but there's a lot of nations after COVID don't.
Mm.
But the UK just doesn't.
Yeah.
Because debt's overtaken GDP here in the UK.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If your debt to GDP ratio is 0, as in the same, that means that you've got maybe a credit card with £100 credit card bill to pay each month, and you earn £100. That's it. That's it. So that £100 has to go out and pay the credit card.
Right. And then use the credit card to live off your month. Right.
That's right. So
anyway, so Starmer thinks that he's going to be able to smash the smugglers, right? The people smuggling gangs. When the Tories have been trying to smash them for years. But what he says is he'll take the money for the stupid Rwanda scheme, which has already been spent. So how he's going to take it, I don't know. And he'll channel that into taking this people smugglers out. But what's interesting, when you take one gang of smugglers out, another gang of smugglers step in to fill the void.
Absolutely. In actual fact, if you don't get the whole gang in the one go, right, anybody that managed to escape the first sort of like, right, got you, right? It's
that's something class action. Hey, how many years do you think it would take for England to remove the class system to qualify for EU membership? Well, first thing they need to do is get rid of they need to sideline the monarchy.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And how many years would it take them to break down the imperial rank system that was placed on the society over hundreds and hundreds of years? I would imagine it would take hundreds and hundreds of years class action.
If you imagine the UK or the English system is pinned up with a pyramid, and it's and the top of that pyramid is the royal family, the monarchy.
Yes.
Underneath that is your lords and your barons and all that sort of thing, right? And then it goes down and down and down from that. That's it. That's your class system. You ain't in that club. You ain't in that club. The best thing you can do is burn that club down. I mean that figuratively.
Of course. And afternoon, Daily Blase, welcome aboard. If you haven't seen Daily Blase's channel, folks, check it out. He specialises in what goes on in the Commons. Very fascinating stuff. And he's got a good sense of humour to go with. Right now, let's move on.
What's that you said? You do with nothing and eats food straight out of the pan, doesn't put it on the plate. Eh?
Say they're washing up off the dishes, David. Man, this is moving too fast for me because I've got both sides coming through at the moment. Right. Now, the left of centre conference that you've gone to Canada. I mean, which Starmer didn't go to a left of centre conference?
In actual fact, it's like, I think you've got to look at it from the point of view of what do the Canadians consider left? What do the Americans consider as being left? And what do we consider in the UK as being left? I think they're different things, aren't they?
Aye.
Yeah.
And it must be because if they're considering Starmer left of centre, then they obviously haven't paid any bloody attention to what's going on here in the UK.
In America, they consider anybody that's left as communist.
Aye, that's true, aye. Right, anyway, Starmer's not got his voice to seek, has he? Because the Jewish Labour voice, they sue him, and they've submitted a document to the European Court on Human Rights, and they've been copied into it. It's a 9-page document, claiming racism and anti-Semitism within the Labour Party. And do you know, the Jewish voice never ever did this to Corbyn.
Yeah, I know.
You know. So apparently Starmer, because most of the Jewish voice is considered left of centre, has sidelined them, ignored them, and tried to shove them out of the party. Which he's done with all websites, like all the websites, Momentum and all that.
It would be interesting to see what the charge is that's racked up against them.
Well, I haven't seen the document. I just know that they've lodged the document to the Court of Human Rights, and then they've copied Starmer in. They're not even thinking we're going to a UK court. I don't think it's going straight to the Court of Human Rights.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's not got his voice to seek as there's more fragmentation in the party. Now, concerned, I don't see it being a Labour landslide down this road because Starmer's not really that impressive. At this point in time, the reason why Starmer is so far in front down that road, and even the Labour Party admit this, isn't because of Starmer policy or anything. It's just because people are fed up with the Tories.
Yeah, but you've got to look at the other side, right? We're talking about letters being written in to the 1922 committee for, like Rishi Sunak to get rid of him. Starmer is getting accused of what Corbyn was accused of, which is anti-Semitism, and he could end up getting overturned. Could we be looking at two new leaders going into a general election? That would be interesting. Yeah, purely as an anorak, I would love that. I'd popcorn. Let's get the popcorn out of that one, So
there's a long way until this election. But looks at Sunak or Starmer might not be in place coming.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow.
Hey, Julie, no, you haven't missed any rants today, but hit the naughty step. Don't burn your arse in the candle.
I can't see the candle. That is it. Right, okay.
Didn't realise my camera had moved in. Right, here's the next one. We've come full circle in the culture wars, David. Except for no satisfied with wiping out 120,000 people through their benefits system. Jeremy Hunt and Sunak are looking at cutting PIP and cutting universal credit at the next budget. What do you make here?
Well, from a personal point of view, I'm gutted because I'm in reception of the small PIP payment because of disability, right? Yeah, I mean, it depends on how much they cut it. It depends if they cut it completely, then that's a disaster. If they cut it a bit, then I might be able to handle it. I don't know, but we need to wait and see what comes down. It's just ridiculous. They always go for the weakest in society.
The reason for these tax cuts, we'll address that comment in a minute, but I'm just for other people to read. The reason for
to give tax cuts to the rich, of course.
Correct. They're going to starve the poor, kill the disabled to give tax cuts to the rich, and the hope that will help them win an election.
Yeah.
I despair at this mob.
I mean, they're we know for a fact there's disabled people out there that literally they've got their end of the fingernails. They're hanging on by the end of the fingernails.
They reported on the woman from Dundee who's faced with deciding whether to breathe or heat her home.
I know.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
So, in order to enrich their mates even more, they're talking about cutting benefits so they can give away sweeties coming up in the general election.
And it's so awful that now people are having to rely more and more on charity. And do you know something there? I give my shirt off my back to folk, right? And really, but it's about dignity. When people are always having to rely on charity, dignity's gone,
Aye. Now, I want to address this one. So Labour are equal with the SNP in Scotland. Well, actually, according to the last 10 polls and the very latest poll, Labour have slipped a further 2 points back to 30 points. SNP are sitting at 39 points if you take the average of the last 10 polls. And Labour are sitting on 30 points if you take the average of the last 10 polls. When you look at it, actually, the SNP are losing ground to the Greens, believe it or not. And Labour are gaining ground on for the Tories. So, believe it or not, the Brit Nats are taking power for each other.
Yeah.
And the Greens are sapping away at the SNP's power base here in Scotland as well. So, but what's interesting about that is, when we look down south, the reason why I think that there will be a hung parliament down that road is because of the Greens, not the Lib Dems. Because the Greens are actually offering a left-wing prospectus.
Yeah.
And all those who are in momentum down that road who have been forced out the party, like Care Now Demo and people like that, they're going to vote Green. In fact, Owen Jones is going to vote Green.
Yes, I noticed that. I saw his last podcast that he did. That was really interesting. He had the lad from the Greens on. Yeah.
So, benefit cuts. We went full circle. We're back at hammering the poorest to give to the rich. And as we know, austerity's already driven something like 200,000 unnecessary deaths, throw in COVID. We're looking at mass genocide.
That's right.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade. And what the Tory government have done for 13 years is genocide.
And what they've done is they've used the mainstream media to create propaganda that ignores all of that. The ignorance of a newsworthy subject that people should know about, the people's right to know, the press call it, right? If those mainstream media organisations ignore these things, they are complicit in the wrongdoing of the government.
Yes, they are. In fact, if we think back 10 years ago, when this, 11 years ago when this all started, 13 years ago when this all started with Osborne, we had things on the TV called benefit street and poverty porn.
Yeah.
That's where we're back to. It's went full circle. We're no, the people in England are not that much bothered about the small boats anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we're back at we went full circle. We're still getting into immigrants, the racism stuff. We've done the religion stuff, divide and rule by religion stuff. We'd already done the poverty porn stuff, but we're back at look over there, it's their fault, no ours, when it comes to what's going on here.
And as we discussed before the programme, we've got a mainstream media in England that are filling the English people's heads with nonsense about Scotland.
That's right.
So that when they come in and they try and take over the Scottish Parliament, the English will go, oh well, we knew that was coming, and that was okay. Yeah.
David, the reason why they're running bad news stories about Scotland every day in the English press is because they want to make it look as if Scotland's worse than England, even though we're nowhere near it.
Yeah.
Nowhere near it. And of course, we've got our own press up here running down the Scottish institutions as well. After all, it's a hostile takeover that's coming.
Yeah.
We've said this before. It's not just the Scottish institutions that are under threat here. The Scottish Parliament's under threat here. It's the very word Scotland that's under threat here. It's our very nationhood that's under threat here.
Right.
Anyway, let's get to tax subsidies of oil firms. That comes on the back of high fuel prices. Prices which are driving inflation up at this point in time. Believe it or not, folks, inflation's on its way up again. David, play a video.
Right, there you go.
Right, I'll bring it and you press play.
There you go.
Put sound on. They get without sound, David. Up in the top of the video, there's a wee thing up there, top right.
What do you want, David?
I want you to put the volume on.
The volume's on.
There's no one, we can't hear it.
Can you stop it and start it again?
I'll take it out. You take it back.
Right, okay.
Put the volume on this time.
Right.
Sorry, folks, technical difficulties, but we'll get it to you, we hope.
Try now, David.
You need to put it back in the green room first. Right, press play. No, David, the volume.
Sorry, David. I'm trying everything to give you volume and it's not giving you it. So, sorry. Just need to leave it then. You need to screw it.
No,
right.
David, what you do is send it to me and I'll put it up.
Right, okay.
Because I think people should hear this.
Yep.
Stick on in my timeline.
Hello.
Right.
David, answer your wife.
It's all right. It's okay. No worries.
What are you doing?
Trying to get that. It's way down my feed. Right. There we go.
Share it to me.
Yeah.
Sorry about this, folks, but it's really important you hear this one.
Yeah, sure.
Is Barry Gardner better without any volume? It might well be. Well, you didn't send it to me, so I'm assuming you put it back in the green room. Anyway, what Barry Gardner's telling us is that... Right, hold on, let's see if we can get it this time, David. Go. Try and play it. Still no volume.
Right.
Just tell them what it is. Barry Gardner's telling us that 91 pence every pound invested in the North Sea, believe it or not, comes from tax subsidies.
Yeah. And the energy companies only pay 9 pence in the pound towards their own, making their own profit, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is due to the tax breaks that they're getting. It's ridiculous.
David, you want to stop sharing that? Get out of the green room, it's annoying.
Sure, okay.
So basically, folks, what Barry was telling us there is that the 100 new licences that have been issued for the North Sea,
that's right,
the exploration costs are on us.
Yeah.
91 pence in the pound for development, research and development in the North Sea comes from the taxpayer's pocket.
Yep.
100% of the profits go to the oil and gas companies.
Yeah.
With very little being paid in tax, and actually the taxpayer subsidising the research and development in the North.
So if you look at it, the oil and gas exploring companies, they have to pay for a license, right? Don't know how much that is because it's down to a bid, it's an auction, right? Okay. But then we've got the situation where, right, they've got the patch of seabed that they know they've got staked out, if you like, with wee flags underwater, right? But then they've got to develop it. They've got to actually drill and actually see if the oil's there and prove the well. All of that development cost can be thrown back to the British government, the UK government, in terms that they get money off any tax that they would pay, right?
Daily Blasey, we'll get to your point, but actually, interestingly, there's only one city in the UK where rats are that big a problem, but we'll get to that.
Aye, yes, that would. We're going to hopefully, hopefully the audio comes through.
Right, okay. That was tax subsidies. So believe it or not, folks, no just that we're not getting much in of the oil and gas whatsoever. We're paying for the research, we're paying for them to drill, we're paying for them to extract it, and they're taking the profit. They only invest 9 pence per pound themselves.
Yeah. What?
Isn't that amazing?
That's after tax. That's after they've done the tax thing.
That's after they've done the tax thing, I know, David.
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's move on to Perry Morden. You get the video for this one?
Yes, I do, and hopefully it'll work this time.
The Perry Morden, as we heard last week in the comments, in a reply to Deirdre Brock, said that Glasgow was rat infested and the people were dying from Victorian diseases like rickets. Yeah. Or got back in hospital for Victorian disease with rickets. So Dave and I had a wee look to see where the actual rat problems are around the world. Would we tell people who's number one, number two, number three? Play a video.
Yeah, hang on, David. I'm just getting the video back to the start again.
Start in the green room. Let's hope this one gets sound.
Hopefully it will. Right.
Right, here we go.
We've come in at number 3, right? But the number 1 and number 2 is what you're looking for.
Number 1 is a temple, a Hindu temple where they worship, or a Buddhist temple where they worship rats.
Yeah, I mean, the Buddhists they worship lots of different ones, but the number 1. Number one is New York, as they're telling us.
Number two, when it comes to rat infestations in cities worldwide, is London. Bloody London. And number three is the Hindu temple. So there you go, Daily Blasé. In answer to your question about rats in Glasgow, actually the worst rat infestation, the third worst rat infestation on the planet, is London.
Yeah. So, you know, I saw evidence that myself. Said in the last programme, I worked on the O2 Arena, which is the old Millennium Dome, and we were right on the banks of the Thames. And I see them the size of them, dogs and cats. My goodness me, big black or dark brown things. And
but Herald is running a story up here saying that there's a street in the south side of Glasgow that's that bad that women won't go into it. This is propaganda push.
That's right.
Yeah. Absolute propaganda push on the back of what you. Apparently we need to share audio for sound, David. Whatever the hell that is, we need to look it up.
Right. Yeah. Fine. Okay.
I never have a problem with getting the sound on videos when I put them up, but that's just the way it goes. So that's just pure push on the back of what Penny said. Now, as to the increase in Victorian diseases, the biggest return in Victorian diseases to come into the UK is cholera in London through dirty water. And the biggest Victorian type illness that's on the rise UK-wide is malnutrition.
Yeah, but malnutrition also, but the GATS, rickets. Now, Penny didn't mention that, but that's not just Glasgow or Scotland.
That's Europeans of malnutrition are showing up in the North East England.
Yeah, that's right.
But as we know, David, historically, prior to devolution, the 10 most deprived areas in the UK were in Scotland. Yeah. The 10 most deprived areas in the UK now are in England. Yeah. And through the 20 most deprived places in Europe, Scotland doesn't figure it. Dundee figures, only one place in Scotland figures that's Dundee. And 10 of the most deprived places in Europe, believe it or not, are in England. They're not of England.
It's amazing. It's amazing how a country can change. I mean, we saw the group of OECD countries where Mexico had the lowest state pension in the world in the OECD, right? Yeah. And the second lowest was the UK. And then what happened was the Mexicans put their pensions up just a wee bit, and that then left the UK as the worst in all the OECD countries. And the same goes for poverty, child poverty. It's ridiculous. Child poverty should never happen, right? Child poverty. But what we did was we brought in the £25 payment.
Oh, that's fair deal, that.
And that effectively has turned the thing like that.
Well, lifted 90,000 children that qualify out of poverty. Believe it or not, out of the 120,000 children who this applies to, 30% of them are still 30,000 of them are still in poverty.
Aye. Yeah.
You know, because they'll be the one-child families where £25 no making that big a difference.
That's right.
Whereas if you get 2 or 3 child families, £50, £75 makes a difference.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, when you're buying for more people, you buy in bulk, it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so Penny Morden and our Scotland's rat infested and dying of Victorian diseases. I'm afraid she's talking crap.
My feeling on that is she's just angry that her party's getting blooming thrown out. Something like that. I don't like the party that's maybe going to replace them, but anyway, she's just bitter about that.
David Lammy video where we think that one will.
Oh, for goodness sake, again. Here we go. Hang on.
Don't start it, just stick it in the green room, alright?
Right, okay, here we are, right. Look at mine. See a clip.
Right, anyway.
All right.
Let's talk about the.
Sorry, I can put this one right back to the start anyway, so that's fine. Right, get it in.
Right, anyway, we were sending the English to Canberra, Rutherglen and Hamilton West. as the local activists are not happy, so they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And
so let's give this David Lammy thing a wee bit of a preamble. David Lammy at one time.
I will get to that, David, but we're going to link into the Rutherglen Hamilton West, because what they're doing there in Scotland is they're using different tactics as what they use in England. In England, we've seen them try to woo Tory voters. Here they're trying to woo SNP voters. So here they're talking about rejoining the EU, becoming members of the single market. That sort of hypocrisy. Right,
yeah.
And that brings us to David Lammy and what he had to say in 2017 to where David Lammy and the Labour Party is today. So let's see if we can get this one to run.
Okay, there you are. Let's see. And
nope, no sound, David. Post that to my timeline. Because I really want these videos to work.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you though.
You can't hear me because you're the only person who can hear the video.
Right, okay, right.
So send it to me so I can play it so other people can see it. Can you get it to my timeline on Facebook?
No, I can't, unfortunately. I can share it to a group, but sharing it to you personally, I cannot get it in at the moment because it's just a video. Sorry, David, can't do it.
Grab the URL and stick it in the post.
Not through the programme, I can't.
Anyway, in 2017, David Lammy was telling us that people had been conned by Brexit and that Labour should campaign for rejoining the EU. Fast forward to today, make Brexit work. Nay rejoining. And this is the same David Lammy who gave a speech on a vote in 2017 under the Theresa May government, where he was talking about voting it down because Brexit was a con, it was stupidity, the mainstream media lied to everybody, that sort of thing. And today he's telling us, the same as the rest of the Labour Party, that they're going to make Brexit work. And that shows you where we're at. Here in Rutherglen and Hamilton West, they're telling the people, I will get back into the single market, I will get closer relations with Europe, and they're sending English MPs and English activists up to do it. At the weekend there was 17 English MPs running about here in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And you remember back in the run-up to the 2014 referendum, we had all the English Labour MPs coming off the train, and the wee lad with his boombox playing the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack. Dan, 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 dan.
Welcome to Imperial Masters.
That's right.
I think we'll take that up. Unfortunately, I've got something on this Saturday. Sunday, I'll probably find myself in the constituency. It's time to get out and about in Hamilton. Start talking to people about what Starmer really is, what a vile creature he is, what a liar he is, what a corrupt piece of state sponsored crap he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the guy who told 10 lies to steal a political party and then set about remaking that political party in the image of what the state wants it to be.
Yeah.
Right of centre, authoritarian, and they definitely didn't represent the people. Represents the 1%.
Yeah.
So he is rewriting the DNA of the Labour Party, as he's recently said, and he's rewriting that DNA as a Tory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I probably will do a live for Hamilton at one point, Stephen. Well, I'm out. You know me, I've got a habit if I'm out and about, put my camera on to anything. You know, like I was at geopolitics at the weekend there with Ginger and Aki's, and I'll put videos and pictures out with that. Aye, what's interesting about their focus on Rutherglen and Hamilton West, it has been extraordinary, but I don't think it's getting them anywhere. You know,
the only time you can be sure is after people have gone to the polling station, and it's always the case that the older ones will tend to listen to what's on the BBC or whatever, right? And they'll go, "Oh, that Sawa, he's a nice wee man."
Aye, but the BBC's not telling these people that Sarwar is part of the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't call them poverty pie for nothing.
Yeah, I know that. But
You know?
that's not getting through. That's the problem. Okay, chapping the doors, great idea. But now, chapping the doors is getting harder and harder because people are looking at the badges or the rosettes of the people that are coming to the front door before they get there. Yeah, looking at who's that,
Aye.
And
Well, David, I've done a fair bit of door chapping in my time. And even people on your side want you off the doorstep.
Yeah, but what they'll do is they'll open the door to the people that they want to speak to.
No, they won't. You've obviously not done much canvassing.
I've done a bit of canvassing around here.
That's what I'm saying, it's no much, right? I mean, see, we can't, see, when I canvassed over Scotland, and the one thing we had in common right across Scotland was, hurry up, aye, here's the answer you want, get off my door. Whether they were telling you the truth or not is a different matter.
Yeah.
But there are hundreds and hundreds of doors on tap to be told, I'm voting for you, I am voting for you, I'm voting for you. By election comes along and Labour takes a seat.
So, okay, here's the big question. What happens when we lose Rutherglen?
What happens?
What happens when we lose Rutherglen?
If they lose Rutherglen and Hamilton West, you mean?
I would actually go as far as to say what happens when we lose Rutherglen. Because
when we lose it?
Yeah, because it actually is looking likely that we could lose Rutherglen, and that's it. Okay, so it's not going to destroy us, but what do you reckon is going to be the ramifications?
It's going to be competed by the unionist parties. Look, there's a swing. Yeah. And populism does work when you don't have access to media.
Sometimes that's a good thing, because people that are of the independence way of thinking think, right, we've got to fight harder. Maybe that's what's needed.
Aye, maybe it's a pull up the bahookie that's needed.
Yeah.
David, I'm sorry, I don't think they're going to lose. I'm going to Hamilton West. And then I was saying,
I hope you're right. Obviously,
I think Rutherglen and Hamilton West will take this onslaught by Labour and look at Labour's actual record and what Starmer's actually saying.
Well, do you know something now? See, amongst you and I and all the people that are on here, we can have that kind of conversation and go, yeah, we figure that Starmer's doing this and Sauer's doing that and all the rest of it, right? But see, when it comes down to people that are behind them doors, if they don't want to speak to you, then the door will stay shut, David. All right. Something like that.
I don't think we're going to lose it, but it is traditionally a swing seat. It's jumped back and forth since all the way back to one of you,
Yeah.
You know. So it is a swing seat, but I've got a funny feeling that the people of Rutherglen and Hamilton West are looking at this gloating that's going on in the Labour Party. I mean, you had Sarwar talk about winning it before it's even been held in the Scottish Parliament last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that people will look at that and go, you know what, let's teach these buggers a lesson.
All right, okay. Fine, I hear you. I do hear you. But when you look at the people in certain parts of Scotland, it's like they're not listening. And that's a shame. That's an awful shame.
And Catherine lives in Hamilton West, and apparently she's not seen hiding her head in the Labour Party. That's because they're on Rutherglen, apparently.
Yeah.
There must be more voters in Rutherglen than what there is in Hamilton West. So there's, but see, when we look at what the SNP and the pressure they're under in Rutherglen and Hamilton West, and the mud that's been slung at the SNP by the BBC, the bollock story about selling seats to the highest bidder. That's the Tory party that did that. That's the Labour Party who are now 80% financed by a big business and private donations that do that.
The BBC have been piling on thing after thing after thing. You had the blooming forensic tent in front of Nicola Sturgeon's house. Oh dear, the talk of the steamy, right? And then you've got the selling seats for the.
Manchester's made a complaint and there's been a police number issued against it. So what? I had 3 police issues, 3 crime numbers given me in last year because all three of my wheelie bins get nicked and set on fire. Issuing a report number means nothing.
That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Right, okay, let's get this one up. George messaged me. Shuggy, I'm no interested in you watching us on your big projector. Right, let's get this one up. Where is it? Hey, Jesus Christ, it's there. Right, Scottish Government issue list of schools. No, hold on. That's not right. Let's get this right. Cancel that. Go to there. Press this. Okay, now we can do it. Let's get the share up because this is information for people with children and grandchildren. Right, is it up?
No.
Oh, is it in the green room? Oh, they won't put it up.
No. It is.
There it is. Technical difficulties a day, David.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Scotland, here we go. List of schools in Scotland that have found to be irregular. It's 33 schools. Okay. Now, what's interesting that is that some of the councils who concentrating on renewing the school estates properly.
Thanks, Dexter.
So where are these schools? 33 schools with rack in it. Perth and Kinross has got one. Perth Grammar. West Lothian Council's got 5, I think it is, or 4. St Kettigan's Academy, Balbardy Primary School, Windeno Primary School, Riverside Primary School, and Knightsbridge Primary School. And West Lothian, they're all subject to probably be racked. But none of these schools are under threat as far as we're aware. Highland Council's got Charleston Academy and Nairn Academy. Morrie's got Forres Academy. Inverclyde's got one school that is no name. Aberdeen Council's got Mackay Academy and West Hills Academy. North Lanarkshire's got one school which has not been named. East Lothian Council has got Preston Lodge High School. Argyll and Bute has got John Logie Baird Primary School. Aberdeenshire has Abbotsville Primary School, Cornhill Primary School, Hazelhead Academy, Northfield Academy, Quarry Hills Primary School, St Macars Academy and West Park School. And Edinburgh's got the most, with 7 schools, I believe. Pentland Primary School, Fox Covert Primary School, St Andrews Fox Covert Roman Catholic Primary School. They're in the one campus, David. What's interesting about that one is that this is a new campus, if I remember correctly, and the racks only used in service corridors. You know, it's no structural. Collington Primary School, Curry High School, Lawn Primary School, Crammon Primary School, and Trinity Primary School. Dundee have got Ardlear Primary School and St Fergus Primary School. The North Ayrshire Council's got Ardrossan. Academy.
Yeah.
So that's the school's name, 33 of them. I've seen a report today that's now up to 40. Now, in England there's 143 schools being named, but there's 900 considered to be at risk. And in Scotland there is 40 now allegedly being named. And in Scotland there is 5,052 schools in total, and under the Education Department. And in England there is 24,440 educational establishments or schools under the Department for Education down that road. So actually, when you get there on the size of the school estates in both England and Scotland, the amount of buildings that were being affected in the schools estates isn't really that big, you know. So that's quite interesting. But it is interesting that the two councils.
Yeah.
Sorry, David. It's interesting that two councils have decided not to name the schools involved.
Yeah.
Inverclyde and the North Lanarkshire.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm trying to think about schools in North Lanarkshire, and they've all been replaced.
Yeah, that's right. We've got brand new schools here. Clydebank High School rebuilt. We've got the Roman Catholic school along the way. It's beautiful. built just a few years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, or something like that.
What's interesting about it is, and this goes down to nearly all the councils in the last 20 years that have been in place in Glasgow, which is the biggest council area with the most amount of students, is there isn't any schools where I can in the Glasgow area.
Yeah, but the thing is, even when there is, if it's in a cableway or where pipes are or whatever, right?
It's non-structural, it's not really that important, it's quite easy to fix.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
But it is interesting that there's 900 schools suspected of having it in England. 143 have been named as definitely have it in England. At the count that we've got this morning, according to official sources, of 33 schools here in Scotland out of 5,052.
I think this, it'll be anything. If you look at I used to live in England, right? They'll love their kids. They'll do all sorts for their kids, right?
The English are a great generous people.
Rishi Sunak is going to fall on his sword over this if it gets much worse, if he doesn't do something about it quickly. And I think he's too weak to do anything about it quickly.
Oh, listen, they've already stated they're not paying for it.
Yeah.
You know, they've already stated they're not paying for it.
Yeah.
Hey, Gillian Keegan, they're not paying for it. The local authorities are responsible for the upkeep of these schools.
Mm.
Or the quangos that have been set up with Govey.
Yep.
Where schools are being chased out of the hands of local authorities into the hands of these private enterprises.
Yep.
Not for profit at the moment, but we know that's going to change.
You want wee Johnny to come to school? Well, we need another £40,000 out of you. There you go.
Right, we've got 4 minutes left, so let's get our last one. Scotland's Lord Advocate signals that she would give the OK for drugs consumption rooms to be set up in Scotland, even though the Westminster government's against it, David. As you know, the Westminster government's against it, as the auspice of the Home Secretary. But what Dorothy Bain's saying is that if the Scottish Government went ahead and opened shooting galleries, anybody using them wouldn't be prosecuted.
No, yeah. It's one of those kind of questions that you think to yourself, right, okay, if I end up with a dreaded disease and I ask the wife to bump me off, so because we don't have euthanasia in this country, right? Is it possible that she'll end up going to prison over it? I don't know. It's that kind of situation, isn't it? Where if you go and you use drugs in one of these areas, one of these safe use areas before this comes in, then it's like you can get prosecuted, and the person running the safe room could get prosecuted as well. Yeah.
Chris is saying that the free schools that are set up down there under these quangos are still in the auspice of the Education Department. Okay. Can't say I know otherwise. I don't live in England. Yeah. But to get back to what we were saying about the people of England, the people of England are great.
Yeah.
It's their voting that's daft.
Yes, I know.
You know, and they seem to be much more driven by the mainstream media who aren't there to hold truth to power, but they're there to basically set a narrative.
Yes.
It's what the BBC are trying to do in Rutherglen and Hamilton West.
That is the whole point of the mainstream media now. At one time, the mainstream media would have been there to inform people of what was going on. Now we can actually see the people who are on there, who would have been the newsreaders in the past, are actual people that are talking narrative. Whatever narrative they want to put up. A bit like what was mentioned about Dan Wootton on GB News. And what he was saying about India, and give us back the 300 million that you had in international aid each year, right? Load of bloody nonsense, but at the same time, that is somebody that you should be a newsreader acting as somebody that's actually trying to create a narrative.
Yes.
And the gammons, as they call them, will buy that. Hook, line and sinker. They'll just take the whole thing, they'll go, oh, that's dreadful, that is. Yeah?
I just wanted to cover an extra line because we've got a minute or so to go, Dave. We've maybe got about a minute or two. I know it's 36, I mean. Right, if that's all right with you. Disposable vapes.
Yes.
It would appear that Alistair Union Jack is about to use the Internal Market Bill and issue another Section 35 order to stop the Scottish Government from banning disposable vapes.
Well, Alistair Jack, I'll let you say your bit in a minute, but Alistair Jack, I believe, is using Section 35 just like a bat that can bat things away, right? Why is it they couldn't use Section 35 in the past, David? You answer that.
Because the Internal Market Bill didn't exist, and every time they tried it, they were kicked in the arse by both Supreme Courts, the one in Scotland, the one in England.
Yeah.
They were told, bugger off, it's devolved. Bugger off, it's devolved. Bugger off, it's devolved. The Internal Market Act was specifically designed to put an end to the independence of the Scottish, Welsh, and to a lesser extent the Northern Irish Parliament.
Yes.
So that is why Alistair Jack now feels that muscular unionism will work, because he can throw Section 35 orders around like confetti.
You want to send? Get behind Scottish plebiscite general election, right? The general election is used as a plebiscite. Vote SNP. If you vote for any other party, that's your prerogative. You can do it, but it won't make any difference to our actual aim for independence. It is only SNP MPs that go in and occupy those seats in Westminster at the end of that general election that count, and that is what the international community will be looking for. Why do you think Nicola Sturgeon spent a lot of time where bum sat on an airplane seat heading somewhere, so she can talk to them about what happens afterwards? The most important thing after a plebiscite, the most important thing after a referendum of any independence move is recognition by the international community.
Yeah, and I just took care where Nicola left off. They call him Air Miles Angus now, but that's what he's doing. He's jetting about. That's why they wanted to tie a UK diplomat to his arse.
Yeah.
And that's why we had it in the Select Committee, as Daily Blasé can confirm, that Alistair Jack made it quite clear. The subject of independence is reserved. You will not be allowed to speak about it in the international community.
Well, you want independence? You now know what to do. I've told you, straightforward. You vote. It doesn't matter who you vote for now. At that general election, you vote SNP because you want independence. End of.
Yeah.
And any other party that gets somebody elected in the Westminster, they'll be like, hurrah, wonderful. Idiots, absolute idiots. Get independence first, you can blooming set up what you like, right?
Right. Our energy minister is absolutely correct. Is over in Denmark this week, and that they're talking about interconnectors and things like that for after independence as well. But as the UK energy minister will be in there to flan next week, no doubt. But as I say, that's us done with our David, because you and I can batter on all day and yak rabbit all day,
I can't.
I'm sure people would enjoy it.
I'm heading to Newcastle tomorrow. I've got all my stuff to build this afternoon, so head for Newcastle. I've got to go, right? So.
Listen, folks, thanks very much for all your kind contributions today. It will all be going to food banks. I've got the name of two of them already done, but I've got the third one so to do. I'll send the information to David in their email, and he'll send the money out. Yep. All right. But anyway, I'm still waiting to get a grip of an organisation in Dundee. I've got a grip of the other two organisations I want to deal with. And let me state that it is on your behalf. So thanks very much for your generosity. Now, if you haven't already, folks, we're on a drive to get to 2,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because that's the one that makes a difference to the algorithm. And if you're on Facebook, share away. It's public. Thanks very much again for participating. Our viewing figures have started to drop because we're saying goodbye, but it's still 180. It was up there at 200 odds. So that's between the two platforms. Thank you very much. And I just lose one thing left today, Davey.
Bye, Davey.
Bye,
guys.